money making moves. Machines with tools and drills making grooves. Missions impossible, that's lotsable. I'm upside down hanging like Tom Cruise.
All right, guys, here we go. Welcome in another edition of the Joe Raineri Show, brought to you by uwager.eu. It is where America bets. It's sure as shit where this show bets, and I hope at the very least here you've been listening, like paying attention, and I hope it is where you have gone ahead and joined and done a little line shopping here. Certainly as we move forward through 162 game baseball season where numbers are everything. It's all about numbers, guys. Nobody gives a shit about what team, what your favorite team is. Nobody cares what the name on the jersey is. It's all about the numbers and the way you end up being profitable at the end of a 162-game Major League Baseball season. Yeah, as you play the right numbers. And in order to do that, you got to have options. How do you have options? You got to get yourself an offshore sports book that you guys can count on, that you can rely on, and that, you know, delivers time and time again. Place you can put money in, you can pull money out. A place that is, from a marketing standpoint, from a market standpoint, the numbers are there, and you'll always be able to get some of the best pricing in the market, and that is exactly what they do at UWager, which is why we tell you about them, guys. If you're going to be playing any of the remaining NBA playoffs, of course, the NHL playoffs, but more importantly, Major League Baseball playoffs. Guys, here's the number, 1-800-UWager. 1-800-UWager. Give them the code JRS50. That's JRS50. They'll go ahead, drop your deposit bonus match in there, and you can start line shopping tonight. We've got 3 games remaining on the slate in Major League Baseball here tonight. Make sure you write that number down, 1-800-UWager, and the code JRS50. Go ahead, check it out. But we've got 3 games on the slate here tonight, Major League Baseball-wise. One of them is delayed right now. St. Louis, Washington. Strasburg on the mound for Washington. Dak Hudson on the mound for St. Louis. Washington is doing anything in their power here to try and salvage a game here. St. Louis has pretty much been beating the crap out of just about everybody. Then you've got Boston, who had a getaway game yesterday against Oakland afternoon, flew out to Chicago, taking on the White Sox. Price on the mound there tonight. And the late game, also, team trying to salvage one win here out of this series. Toronto in L.A. taking on Anaheim. Sanchez taking on Skaggs here tonight. We'll give you all the latest numbers on that coming up here in just a minute, as well as, of course, the big NBA game tonight, Game 3, Philadelphia and Toronto, right? So which way you're going to go, where you're playing. I can tell you the sharps, and I can tell you what the market is doing. We'll go over those numbers. There is a clear favorite here. There is a clear indicator of what the professionals are looking to do tonight in that NBA game. We'll share those numbers with you, as well as our friends at TrendyBets.com, who, yep, they've got it. They've got a side tonight that we're going to share with you here, part of their NBA packages. They've been killing it. You know it. I know it. Anybody that's been tailing them knows it. They are awesome. And also, they got a Major League Baseball play here tonight. We're going to share that with you. So one side of the NBA play, one Major League Baseball play still yet to take off. They're going to hook you up with that. We're going to give you that. We want to send a couple of shout-outs to our friends here. It is a big week. First week in May, we got Kentucky Derby coming up here. And tomorrow, Marco D'Angelo, WagerTalk.com, they're getting ready. They're putting together, as we speak, even though little information came down yesterday, the favorite, Omaha Beach, not going to be in it. It would help if the horse could breathe, I guess, right? That usually helps. Can't be a favorite and go out there and not be able to breathe. So once Omaha Beach was taken down, I know the guys at Wager Talk have been working on their year-round Kentucky Derby package, which made clients, guys, last year thousands, like, you know, over $3,000 in winnings last night with this package, and they're putting it together. We'll have more information. Marco's going to join us here tomorrow, getting you ready for the Derby Saturday. It's going to be awesome. 145th, now it seems like 9,000 of them, but a little different taste, a little different swing here this year as the morning line favorite, no longer in the race. Will there be some value someplace else? That's the big question. Marco will help us answer that tomorrow, our friends from Wager Talk. Also, want to remind you guys, our friends at SportsMemo.com. they'll be by. Dr. Chuck will be by tomorrow talking a little Major League Baseball. Dr. Chuck just absolutely killing it, on fire over at Sports Memo. Definitely somebody you guys want to be tailing, not only on Twitter, but go check him out at sportsmemo.com. Go check out the record. It's, nobody's hiding behind anything here, guys. Transparency is everything to us here on the show. Go to sportsmemo.com. Go to wagertalk.com. Check out any one of their cappers. You'll see exactly what we're talking about. All transparent all the times. Not only do they tell you what to play, but they tell you why to play it, right? So important to understand not just why, why am I playing the Red Sox tonight? Like, why am I taking Toronto? Is there a reason? Is there an edge? If somebody can't explain that edge to you guys, that's because they don't have it. And that's one of the biggest problems with this industry right now is you got a lot of people claiming to know what the hell they're doing, but basically they're throwing out 15 games a day, 20 games a day, and, if a couple of them win, they're fucking geniuses. That's not the way it works, guys. So sportsmemo.com, Dr. Chuck, guy you want to invest some time getting to know. You'll get to know him here tomorrow on the show. And, of course, Marco D'Angelo, Mr. Wager Talk. They'll be by tomorrow. And a hats off to Ralph Michaels, by the way, who just killed it yesterday here on the show. Those of you, he joined us, kind of did a preview here of all the games remaining in the NBA, kind of gave you the trends, kind of gave you the angles, told you everything you need to know. But he also dropped a little nugget for you, didn't he, yesterday with his dog of the day. He was the only guy talking at plus 170 about the Cincinnati Reds taking care of DeGrom and the Mets last night, and they did just that. So hats off to Ralph Michaels, killed it. And by the way, did the same thing here today. Dropped a little nugget of information. Those of you that are tailing him, he was all over Minnesota today, taking on Houston. Houston in another one of those getaway game situations. They're on their way to Mexico. So a little strange situation for Houston today, and it showed. They got their asses handed to them by Minnesota, but another winning pick delivered by Ralph Michaels, wagertalk.com, at CalSportsLV. And these are the guys you want to profit. Listen, you don't have 100 hours a week to study analytics and numbers and markets, and I get it. You just want to be able to make a few bucks. You want to go ahead, do a little sports investing. You want a little side income. I understand. But in order for you to do that and do it well and not lose your ass, you need guys you can trust. You need, and that's the beauty of all of this. When you do have a handful of guys that you can rely on, that you can trust, transparent, doing it, they can help you better understand why there's an edge, where the edge is, why you should play a game. Those are the kinds of guys you want to hang around with, right? Don't be the smartest dude in the room. We tell you that all the time. It starts by hanging around guys, following guys, tailing guys that do just that. Ralph Michaels, wagertalk.com, and, of course, Dr. Chuck over at sportsmemo.com, and let us not forget our friends at trendybets.com. Side note, tonight, Sports Keg back in action for those of you. Ralph did a really good job talking about this yesterday about live in-game wagering, especially during the NBA playoffs. And if you guys weren't paying attention, that video is available. That interview is available. Listen very closely to what Ralph had to say. Some great bits of free information and advice for you guys that want to dabble a little bit in live in-game wagering. Bottom line is there's money to be made. There's a lot of money to be made. There's risk in everything. But if you know what you're doing, it beats trying to figure it out one way or another pregame. Maybe the best way to go is wait till the game tips off and then dive in, and there is no better place to go. You want to be profitable. Hang out with our friends over at the Sports Keg, at the Sports Keg CEO. They are going at it tonight. Again, another edition of the Kegcast is going to be on tonight. They got a fight cast coming up this Saturday night, in fact, live in-game wagering for UFC. Ultimately, what is this all about? Well, think of it as a giant think tank for live in-game wagering degenerates just like us. All right, guys, that's what they do there. It is free. It is open to you. It's on. It's very simple. It's on YouTube. All you have to do, go to YouTube, search out the Sports Keg. It'll take you to the page. Subscribe to the page. 7 o'clock tonight. These guys are going. 3 months they've been doing these shows daily, guys, during the week. They're up over 117 units. live in-game wagering over 117 units in 3 months. How many of you are up 117 units over the last 3 months? Raise your hand. You're lying. I know you're friggin' lying, all right? These guys are great. And it's a conglomerate of handicappers from around the country. It's not just Jay, the Sports Cake CEO. It's a lot of guys from all over the place that have joined forces with one thing in mind, guys, and that is to dominate the sports books and do so smartly, invest wisely, and oh yeah, by the way, they're seeing the profits, aren't they? 117 units in 3 months, guys. This is something, again, don't be the smartest dude in the room. Hang around the right people. These are the guys you want to hang around with tonight, 7 o'clock, getting you ready not only for the late MLB action, but of course, the NBA game here tonight. Toronto Sixers. Time to make some money here heading into the weekend. Make sure you check them out. It's at the Sports Keg CEO on Twitter. Just search the Sports Keg on YouTube and get yourself going there. I want to thank Jay very much, by the way. I'm telling you guys, I go there every night, man. I'm dropping in. They're bouncing ideas off of each other. They're coming up with strategies. When the number hits this is what we're going to do. That's what it's all about, guys. It's about having a plan when you go into it, all right? Sticking to that plan and profiting. All right, a plan of throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks, playing 18 games a night on a card is not a plan. That's a death wish. That's how you go broke, okay? What these guys are doing is giving you out a whole bunch of free information to help you profit each and every night, live in-game wagering, the Sports Keg. Search it out, guys. Another Kegcast tonight. All right, let's make you profit here tonight. Let's take a look at what our friends from TrendyBets.com got going on here. Raptors, 76ers. All right, this game opened up -2 here. It has since been pushed back to -1.5. Total is now up to 217 in a lot of books. 216.5 is what our friends at TrendyBets.com are looking at. Here's what we know, guys. The over 9-4-1 in Toronto's last 14 road games versus a team with a home winning percentage greater than 600. That's Philly. We also know the over 6-2 in the Sixers' last 8 home games. The over is also 5-2 in the Sixers' last 7 games, playing on 2 days rest. And the over, 7-2 in the last 9 meetings in Philadelphia. So what does TrendyBets.com think you should do tonight? They're going over. 216.5, 217 right now. And let me just throw my 2 cents worth in here, guys. I've already bet it. I got it at 216, and I went over. We talked about this a little bit earlier today, me and Gabe Morency on the morning after. Also, Make It Rain first thing in the morning on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. Download the app, guys, if you haven't done so. We talked about this, that when you looked at Game 2 with Toronto, all right, let's be realistic here. Toronto couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat. They were abysmal shooting the ball. In fact, when you break down the numbers, they had close to 30 shots in Game 2 that they had absolutely no contest. They were wide open, meaning nobody was even in their face within 6 feet. And of those shots, guys, they went 9 for 29. So the idea that Philly somehow or another turned on this great defense, not really. Not if you're giving up 29 wide-open looks there. Toronto just didn't make any shots. They also came out very lethargic Game 1. They turned it on. The fact that they were that bad, shooting 31% wide-open shots, and they still were within one possession of being able to tie that game is a testament to Toronto and what they did in the second half. But they didn't shoot good at all. I mean, let's face it. They played defense. Offense wasn't there, yet they still had a chance to win this game. Now, I know what you're saying. The unders have been like that all. It's been like that all players learn. The unders. Yeah, I get it. But you're looking at a total opening up of what was the closing line total in last game between these two teams? 219, 220, somewhere along those lines. So right now you're telling me this line opened up 4 points less than what the last game did. But what changed? Like, what is changed in order to go 4 points less? Like, is Philadelphia's defense really ratcheted that up? Was it Philly's defense that caused that issue? Or was it the fact that Toronto just had an off night? Because to me, it's all about Toronto not being able to shoot the ball, especially to wide open shots. I don't think that's going to happen here tonight. You're giving me 4 points of value from the last closing line number, and I'm good, man. And I still can't come up with a reason as to why it would have opened up 4 points less. So to me, considering the defensive deficiencies here on Philadelphia, expecting the pace of play to get jacked up here. I do think Philadelphia is going to crank it up here. They're not going to allow Toronto to try to get defensive sets. They are going to push the ball. They did it after the first loss there to Brooklyn in that series. They're going to do it again tonight. So pace of play is going to be in our favor, right? They're going to run for better or for worse. They're going to run up and down. They are not going to slow it down to a crawl. I do think them playing at home is going to help. As bad as that bench is for Philadelphia, and it's pretty damn thin, guys. I'm fairly certain you and I could probably suit up for them tonight, and they would use us. But as thin as that bench is, they are comfortable because they're home. So even those guys are going to be a little bit more comfortable shooting the ball. To me, giving me a total number, 3.5, 4 points less than what it was last game without any real meaningful adjustments that I can point to and say, this is why. Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to take the over. I've played it already here today. I'm on the over at 216.5. I agree with our friends from TrendyBets.com. I think we're looking at maybe 112, 115, somewhere along those lines for Toronto tonight. I don't think it's going to be a problem for them scoring and scoring big time. And I do think Philadelphia is going to ratchet up here, guys. I think they are going to run up and down the court. I think they are the tempo is going to be set, and I would anticipate being at home is going to help them get a little more comfortable and make a few shots. So I'm all over the over as well. I think that's the right play. I think that's the value play in this game here tonight. Giving me 4 points without giving me any justification for it in a total. That's what we call value. I'm all over it. I agree with our friends from TrendyBets.com. The over is the play tonight. Raptors at 76ers. All right, another game here. Major League Baseball, and you know how they love their baseball here, guys. And their packages, by the way, at Trendy Bets have been dominating. In fact, one of their systems, I think, is close to almost $3,000 in profits already, guys. It doesn't get any better than that. TrendyBets.com. Check it out. It's right there. One of the best websites. Tonight, they're looking at the game coming up. David Price, right? Giolito, I think, is pitching for Washington. Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. Boston, big number right now, minus 194, minus 190. It's been bouncing back and forth there. Big favorite right now. Boston on the road. They've quietly, dismantled a few teams along the way. I think they've won, 5 out of their last 7. The bats are starting to come alive. Pitching starting to come alive a little bit. Going into Chicago there. The total is 8.5. What do we know about this game tonight? Well, we know the over is 27-2 and the Red Sox last 29 during game ones of a series. We also know the over, 11-4-1 in Chicago's last 16 after allowing 5 runs or more in their previous game. The over, 7-1 in Giolito's last 8 home starts. Also the over, 5-1-1 in Giolito's last 7 starts following a team loss in their previous game. Now, Chicago, not the best, but I can tell you this. They can certainly put the ball in play, can't they? TrendyBets.com feels the free NBA MLB play of the day. Go with the over. 8.5 here tonight, guys. Over 8.5 in that Red Sox game. I can tell you right now what's going on from a market standpoint. Let's dive into the numbers. First of all, Boston opened up in this game minus 160 on the money line. They have quite honestly been bet up 30 cents to $1.90 right now, and it looks like it's going to keep going. Heavy favorite, a lot of public money. In fact, 73% of the bets coming in on the money line for Boston, representing about 55% of the money. However, you do have the Chicago White Sox here, plus 140 opened up. They've been going the other way. A little reverse line movement here, plus 170. However, 27% of the tickets being written for the Chicago White Sox tonight. Guys, that's representing 45% of the money. What does that mean? Well, it means a lot of cases here today. We've seen some reverse line shifts on the Chicago White Sox. We've seen also some steam come in for Boston here a couple of times earlier in the day when Boston was minus 175. Steam, Sharps came in, pounded that, pushed it up to 195. You've seen a little buyback here now on the Chicago White Sox, a little steam action later on in the afternoon. But that's what they're looking at right now, guys. You are looking at Sharps kind of looking at the under in this game, it appears. We're starting to see some reverse line shifts on the under. I'm looking at a number of 9 here right now, but it has been pushed down to 8.5 in most of the books. Let me just make sure. 8.5, 8.5. No, there are still some 9s floating out there, guys, for this game here today. 9, 9. Yeah, we're starting to see more 9s pop up. Opened up at 8.5. It's been pushed up to 9. So a lot of money came in on the over. A lot of money continues to come in on the over. 60% of the tickets are on the over right now, representing about 70% of the money. So definitely a push to the over between David Price and Giolito tonight. But our friends at Trendy Bets, very simple. They loving themselves, the over tonight at 8.5. So keep an eye on that. Plus the late game here tonight, Toronto, LA. And just want to remind you guys, too, if you haven't done so, trendybets.com. Visit them. Tail them, guys. Do yourself a favor on Twitter. Head over to Twitter there. Go to the Trendy Bets site. They've always got free plays happening on there. They're posting all sorts of great information. It's another one of those Twitter follows where it's kind of a must thing to do, guys. I mean, go over there, check them out. You can see it here. Trendy Bets. There they are, Trendy Bets. At Trendy Bets. They've got all sorts of free plays that they're posting there, recaps of what they're doing. Their NBA has been fantastic all year long. Their Major League Baseball is killing it. Their numbers are there. We talk about transparency, guys. That's what they do at Trendy Bets. They deliver. And those of you that have been tailing them, have been following them, you know exactly what we're talking about. So do yourself a favor. You're just joining us now. Get over to Twitter at Trendy Bets, all right? Make sure that you are following them. Some great stuff there. And then, of course, tonight, they like the over in the Red Sox-White Sox matchup, as well as the over Toronto Raptors taking on those Philadelphia 76ers. And, all right, so Trendy Bets, you're squared away there. You know about the Kegcast tonight with our friend Jay, the Sports Keg CEO. Certainly hope that you guys are going to join them for a little live in-game wagering. I'll be there, so I hope you'll stop by and say hello. I'll be in the chat room on YouTube. Just search the Sports Keg on YouTube, guys. It'll take you right to the channel. Subscribe to it. Join us at 7 o'clock as we start prepping, getting ready for a little live discussion straight up about what our plans are, what we're looking for, what the numbers are, and we're going to start pouncing as we're watching these games tonight, making some money here. Also, NHL playoffs tonight. You got Columbus. They're going to be ready to go. Columbus taking on the Boston Bruins. You got the night games. Sharks, all right, looking to take full control of that series. So plenty going on here tonight in the world of sports. Hope you'll join us for another edition of the Kegcast on YouTube. Just search out the Sports Keg. All right, so let's go. Let's take a look at the Sharp Report here tonight. Tell you what it is that the Sharps are looking at. Let me see here. Major League Baseball here tonight. There is one game that they seem to have kind of latched onto more than anything else here today. And that game's happening tonight, 10 o'clock. We're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays versus the Angels, guys. And like we told you, the Angels have taken the first 2 of this series. They won 4-3. They won 6-3 last night. They beat Stroman, who's been having a fantastic year. He was due for a little regression, wasn't he, though? The guy was pitching totally lights out. He was definitely one of those starters that we had circled, waiting for him to come back here a little bit to reality, Stroman. But a fantastic start to the season for him. 6-3, the Angels win last night. And now, of course, the public looks at this and goes, all right, so they've lost 2 games, Toronto, so that means they're not going to get swept, right? So, you know, Joe Public goes, yeah, it's probably time to back Toronto here because they don't want to lose 3 games. Well, no shit. Nobody wants to lose 3 games and get swept. But there is not a sharp in the world, there's not a professional in the world who looks at this game and goes, yeah, they're due. Okay, here's another thing, all right? Tidbit of information. I got to get a bell or something when we do this. You know, when we get these little tidbits of information, okay? Their due is not a strategy when it comes to handicapping, okay? Everybody is always due. I can throw so many numbers at you telling you a team is due one way or the other. That is not an edge. That is not a strategy. Because a team lost and because they're due, it means ungats, okay? And for those of you that understand that, it means it don't mean shit, all right? That's not a strategy. Anybody tells you they're due, that's the reason you should play a team. Yeah, run as far away from them as humanly possible, okay? Keep an eye on this, too. You've got two teams with identical records. Toronto 14-16. LA now 14-17. That whole Toronto has to win to avoid the sweep mantra is bullshit. Don't look at it. And I can tell you right now, you looked at this game, it opened up. The Angels were listed, middle of the road, -132, -133. I saw them at first thing this morning. Money line bets are split right down the middle, by the way, about 50-50 there. Yet, somehow or another, that line moved from 133, 132, 133. Guys, they're up to 155 now in some books. So why is that? Why, if I'm getting 50% of the bets on both sides, why are you jacking me up here on the money line here to the Angels? Shouldn't it be 50-50? Shouldn't the number stay the same, right? Because they got to, doesn't Toronto have to win? Well, that's a pure indicator, guys, of where the sharp money is going. Percentage of bets versus percentage of money. The reason that line, isn't moving, or in a vacuum, it probably shouldn't move more than a couple of cents, right? But, that line moved almost 30 cents here today since the beginning for the Angels. But they're only getting half the bets. So that tells us, and it should tell you guys, that that's where the sharps are looking. That's where the sharp money are going. They are not siding with Joe Public, who seems to think that Toronto is due and should win the game. So sharps have come in a couple of times with steam. Let me see what the record is here today. And again, you guys using the software, and we've got access to about 12 of the biggest sports books here, that including our friends at UWager. So we monitor it all day long, letting you guys know when the big bets are coming in and trying to read the market so we have a better idea of what direction the sharps are going. That is a favorable strategy, guys, right? If you don't have 100 hours a week to dedicate for analytics and numbers and reading markets, because I don't know, you got a wife, a girlfriend, kids, boyfriend, you don't live in your mom's basement, you basically have a life, but you still want to get down a little bit here. You want to lay a little action tonight. You want to streamline some income, a side gig, so to speak. You want to make smart investing decisions. Same thing for guys on Wall Street, right? I mean, who's got time to deal with? That's why you get a broker. It's the same situation here in sports investing. It is a market. The guys that we introduced to you, that we talked to you about, these are your brokers. These are the guys that are in it. They're grinding each and every damn day. They're not throwing shit against the wall and hoping that it wins. They're not giving you 30 plays and saying, hey, don't forget, we won our top play. Well, okay, congratulations. You lost the 27 other fucking plays you gave me. So it's nice that one of them hit. Yeah, that's not what you've got here, all right? The guys that we're talking about and we're delivering to you are guys that grind. They can tell you in exact certainty why it is that they think there's an edge one way or the other. And then you can either go, I agree, or I disagree, or you then make a smart investing decision like you would at any point in life, going, didn't think about that. Not swaying me enough to make the play, but you know what? I'm better off. I'm smarter because I actually know that. That's what it's about, and that's kind of what we're doing here for you, telling you what the market has been telling us all damn day long. I can tell you that a lot of action, a lot of steam, and some reverse line shift from very early on when this line was released this morning to the over, the total, over 8.5, has been getting a lot of movement. I've seen steam come in on the Angels, in fact, a couple of times, which is obviously what has gone ahead and pushed that number to where it is here, opened up at -132. I'm seeing -155 and even higher here, am I not? 158, 155, so keep an eye on that, but I do see it. But the over getting a lot of love here, guys. A lot of steam here across the board for the over 8.5. And if I'm looking, I think that number has been pushed up. Has it not? Opened up at 8.5. A couple of 9s out there, but you can still get 8.5. That's what's going on there. Not only do the sharps like the Angels, but the Sharks like the over in this game too, and we can tell that simply from what's been going on. Again, total opened up at 8.5. It was pushed up to 9. There is a little bit of buyback there, but I'm seeing a lot of steam coming in over 8.5. And another one of those situations, 67% of the bets were on the under And you're looking at a contrarian over here, guys, right now is what's going on. That's what the Sharps are doing. That's why they're pouncing on the over. 67% of the bets on the under. Public doesn't like the under, guys. Remember that. Public wants scoring, all right? The public thinks that, yes, the more scoring, the better. Guys are always going to hit home runs. They very rarely look towards the under. So when you have a situation along those lines, the pros are crushing it here at 8.5. They've done it about 3 or 4 times here, some steam and reverse line movements on the over in this game tonight. It remains at 8.5. So keep an eye on that. Plus the wind, guys, blowing out straightaway center. I'm looking at about 7-8 miles an hour in Anaheim here tonight. The ump behind the plate, keep this in mind, Scott Barry. And since 2005, unders, not good. They've lost just about 10 units with Barry calling balls and strikes. The over, been a hell of a lot more profitable in this situation. 8.5. And the Angels. That's who the Sharps are looking at in tonight's game. I'll tell you right now where the money's going for the NBA. Toronto, Philadelphia. Let's break down the numbers and see what we're looking at right now. The spread down to 1.5 for Toronto, right? 60, and it's pretty evenly split across the board there. 65 of the bets, 65 of the tickets being written for Toronto, representing 65% of the money. 35% of the bets are on Philly, getting that 1.5, representing 35% of the money. But again, it opened up at 2. It's been pushed down to 1.5. The money line, too, also Toronto opened up plus 105, now minus 120. Philadelphia opened up minus 125, now plus 100. The over-under, we told you, opened up about 216. I'm seeing 217, 217 and a half in some places. And that looks to me like they got quite a bit of action there on the over originally, like we told you. And let me look at some of these bet signals here. Steam. Yeah, it's steam all day long here, guys. Steam to Toronto. Toronto. Philadelphia had a play there, had a little steam move early, but the majority of the steam moves here today by the Sharps across sports books. Toronto laying 1.5, and the over at 215, 215 and a half, 216. So that's where the sharp money is going, guys. That's why you are at where you're at here tonight. So I hope all of this information, when you crumple it up, squeeze it up, and, I hope you put it to good use one way or the other, but better you know than you don't know, which is exactly why we do this show, which is exactly why we bring it to you. Still a delay in the Cardinals-Nationals game. That has yet to be able to get the first pitch off. Strasburg versus Hudson there. The Nationals are a minus 150 favorite in that game here tonight. But Red Sox, White Sox, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. We just told you about the Angels and the Blue Jays. And, of course, the Toronto Raptors, Sixers, that too is at 8 o'clock, which is why we want to remind you guys, make sure that you check out the Kegcast tonight. The live Kegcast going to go off in about an hour and a half. The live Kegcast tonight on YouTube. Make sure that you guys stop by, check it out. We'll be doing some live in-game wagering there. Jay, the Sports Keg CEO, and the rest of the crew getting ready, up over 117 units. Live in-game wagering. How many units are you up here, guys, this year? They've been doing it for 3 months, and they're up 117 units. So hope you'll stop by tonight at the Sports Keg CEO on Twitter, the Sports Keg on YouTube. Don't forget, trendybets.com. Check those guys out. They like the over tonight. White Sox, Red Sox, also the over. Toronto Sixers. Tomorrow, Marco D'Angelo, wagertalk.com, breaking down that Derby for you. He's got a whole lot of information, plus the information on that package that everyone looks forward to at Wager Talk regarding the Derby, how you can get it, price, all of that good stuff tomorrow, as well as our good friend Dr. Chuck from sportsmemo.com. He'll be by as well. Once again, congrats, Ralph Michaels from Wager Talk, giving us that big underdog last night in Cincinnati, giving us Minnesota again today for free. Make sure you're tailing Ralph there at Cal Sports LV. Join us tomorrow, the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. We'll make it rain. We got the morning after. We've got you covered, whether it's daily fantasy or it's sports investing, guys. It's a free app. It's the Daily Fantasy Sports Radio Network, heard around the country we've got you covered. Hope you'll come back and join us tomorrow morning. Hope you'll come back tomorrow afternoon. Join us here on the Joe Raineri Show. Good luck tonight, guys, all right? May we all cash a few tickets. I know I plan on doing so. We'll talk and we'll recap and we'll make even better plays moving forward. It's all about making smart sports investing decisions. It starts by surrounding yourself with some guys that know better than you, and that's why I surround myself with you guys and everybody else here on the show. So good luck tonight, guys. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. It's the Joe Raineri Show.